What's up, awesome people? Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. So today we're going to take this Fender, the Squire Affinity Telecaster Deluxe from this plain, boring black to this. Got some bling on today, right? And we're going to cover some stuff like 2K clear coating and a secret clear coat, and how to finish it to a very mere fine polish. And it's easier than you might think. Just a few tips, tricks, and tools there for you. Okay, now comes the magic time. What we have here is the disposable type liner. Alright, it also gives us our 4:1. That's our measurements for our clear coat U-pole. Alright, so we're going to do that. We're going to put in up to our four parts, and then we'll add our one of the hardener. Then comes the fun. Adding the glitter. So if you happen to work with this stuff, remember it is extremely hard on your lungs. So make sure you're in a well ventilated area. I have all the doors and windows open in my shop. And as soon as I spray it, I'm going to vacate it. But in the meantime, we'll put on our mask and let's go ahead and pop that top off. Okay, now comes the fun. Not really rocket science, but it is important to get it pretty darn close. Whoop. And as soon as we do that, it'll start to harden. It's not like immediate, but it does harden pretty quickly. Alright, so then we're going to open up our glitter. There's no rocket science to this, and in this particular case, there aren't even any recommendations anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put about half of it in there, like that, and we'll get out a stir stick. Somewhere. There we go. And we'll stir it. Bring it up so you can see it. Okay. Well, that's looking pretty blingy. I don't think it's blingy enough for me, though. I'm going to make one full pass. So I'm going to dump the whole thing because that was my original plan. We'll stir that in like that. Bring out our stick there. It is quite a bit in there. Oh yeah. There we go. Pretty neat. So we'll wait and see what our dispersal looks like, but judging from outside, I think it's going to be pretty good. What we're going to do, test it out a little bit. Hey, thanks for watching it. I really sincerely hope you're finding what you need here. If not, please leave a comment in the comment box, and by all means, like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help. Okay, well, so next day, what we're going to do is we're going to take some 2000 grit, and we're going to take a nice little fat eraser that's nice and flat, and we're just going to knock down some of the bigger pieces so that we can get on with the clear coat. So I'm just going to run over it a couple times. I don't know if you can notice this, but I did lift the pick guard. This is really important so it doesn't stick to the guitar, so I can get it back off. And so all the screws are in it. But they're all jacked up. All right, so at some point in your project as you're going along, you're going to ask yourself this question. If you're doing clear gloss over glitter, you're going to ask yourself a couple of questions. And one of those big questions is do I have enough clear coat on it? Right? Do you have enough clear coat on it to start sanding it down till it's flat, especially if you want a mirror finish? You see the darker spots right there? Now, I still have to sand those to get it perfectly flat. So the other question you might ask yourself, and this is serious, I mean, you might ask yourself, do I mind having a little bit of texture in my finish? It's all going to be glossy. It's all going to look nice. But when you look down the pickguard for that mirrored finish, you're going to see the texture. So you have to ask yourself, is that okay? It might be. I've done guitars with texture and left the texture in. I wasn't looking for that matte or clear gloss finish. So my advice is this. Start out high. As you can see in my wet sand bowl here, I have 1200, I have 2000 in there. I also have 600. My advice to you is start high. 2000 grit, 1200, 1500. I've got some 1500 in there. Work your way down. If you're not getting the penetration with the sandpaper, then go ahead, work down a couple of grit. Keeping that in mind, as I use 600, I'm being very careful, especially on the edges. Just like we do on in between a lot of coats, in this particular case, we're going to clean it very thoroughly. We don't want no dust particles. We don't want nothing on there. No hairs. Nothing. So here comes, might be a little bit of a shock, but I've got a 1.0 needle in this airbrush. And I'm going to airbrush this on, not only on this, but on the guitar as well. Okay? And the reason I'm going to do that is because it's got more control. I can lay down a much softer bead, which I'm going to do to start with, just a mist really over it, because I have it sanded down to 1200. And we're going to do a little blowing off of it, and then we're going to shoot it on, and it will go on like almost glass. So there's one tip you might want to consider. If you're not into airbrushing, it's not hard to get into, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. Notice that there's just a mist on it. That's just to promote adhesion for the heavier coat that's coming. Next we'll do a medium heavy coat. Okay, look at the reflection in that. Remember I told you it's all about prep work? Yep, it's all about prep work. Because then you get a finish like that. Especially when you airbrush it. Of course it's going to dry, and yes, I am definitely going to do one more coat. Another heavy coat right on top of that. And look at that. probably won't even have to do but just a little compound on it. Looking good. Okay, 30 minutes later, about actually closer to 40 minutes later, dry to the touch. Now, can you see why I did all that prep work and how valuable it is? I mean, I'll probably do a compound, just a little bit of compound on this, right? But honestly, not a whole lot. Looks pretty good all in all. Same with the pickguard.